it's like my voice just dropped into my body and was resonating like I knew it was supposed to.
I felt like more part of who I am, more expressive in who I am, more in my energy.
My voice was much more relaxed. I felt much easier in my throat.
To insert your voice means giving your voice its right place in the body, giving it the right volume, the right shape. Let us go back several months to understand what inserting one's voice means. We are in Los Angeles, a city of entertainment, show business, a city of creativity, the ultimate city of well-being. Every actor, dancer or singer has passed through this city or dreams of coming here one day. For a number of years now, Dr. Patrick Verrey has been coming here to attend workshops for practitioners and to present his work in the areas of acupuncture and nutripuncture, two techniques that he teaches using a Western approach. Nutripuncture, like acupuncture, produces well-being and balance. At one of these workshops, and thanks to Cheryl Kogel-Torre, who organizes nutripuncture courses, and to one of her friends, Wendy Parks, Dr. Verrey met the professional singer James Walters.
Dr. Verrey came with Wendy to hear me sing with my band, and I sang a song, one of the jazz standards. I sang it through.
When I heard him sing, I could tell that he was not allowing his voice to find its right place in his body. Within nutripuncture, we had a sequence for the voice which had been part of this discipline for a long time. So we gave this sequence to Jimmy Waters.
And so he asked Jimmy when he was singing, would you like to take a sequence to see if there's a difference?
He had a sequence ready. And while the band was taking their solos, I took the sequence and I went back and sang the same song again. And the difference was so amazing in my voice. It's like my voice just dropped into my body and was resonating like I knew it was supposed to.
Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high.
And the difference was so incredible. The difference was like night and day.
The results were so amazing in my voice. I think for that reason, he began to get the idea. He should do a workshop for singers to feel their voice inside their body as it should be.
Encouraged by his first experience, and after several months of research, Dr. Verrey came to Santa Monica to set up a workshop on the applications of nutripuncture in the area of singing. Once again, he was assisted by Cheryl Kogel-Torre.
I have worked with nutripuncture for 3 years now. I'm a licensed master parenter, and I also teach here in the States nutripuncture, and I also see clients. I'm a licensed nutripuncture therapist.
That first workshop was given to a few therapists and singers. They discovered a new approach which has the effect of integrating the voice into the body as a whole.
Patrick has done many studies on the body and the vital currents, physically, emotionally, how the body balances itself. And he created nutripuncture and the nutrients to help your body do that.
What we're not attempting to do in this workshop, of course, is to take the place of the singing teacher, whose function is to shape the voice and teach the student how to sing. It has nothing to do with teaching singing as such. Of course, one will pick up certain aspects of nutripuncture, but it is not the aim to give a course in nutripuncture. When you are learning to become a singer, you work your voice and your vocal apparatus without taking into account the various parts of the body that interact in this function. The reality is that the voice goes through a number of stages as it is built up. And there may be certain blockages in life which will prevent a person from using the voice to its full potential. What do? Quite simply, we empower the vital currents which require nothing more than the freedom to express themselves. But what are these vital currents? The body is crossed by a number of meridians which connect the upper body and the lower body. These meridians connect different sections of the organism, enabling them to communicate. On a cyclical basis, these meridians pass on electromagnetic information which control all the vital functions. This information is spread like particles of energy in an electrical circuit. It is the electromagnetic information that we call vital currents. So we control these vital currents either by acupuncture. People are not too keen on this because it stings, or by the preferred method of nutripuncture. We use 5 tablets in a certain order instead of using 5 acupuncture needles. 5 tablets taken in a certain order make up the sequence. Each tablet is made up of a complex mixture of trace metals, the synergetic effect of which produces information that controls specific vital currents. This is what makes nutripuncture original. There is another way of improving one's voice, by hearing it played back after it has been correctly inserted in the body. It is possible to use such recordings for realigning the body on a subsequent occasion. It is very important to adopt one's voice and not to accept some other voice. Each voice is different, and it is its own form of expression. Its identity is very important. What makes one person different from another is his or her identity and individual form of expression. The expression of one's person is the result of harmonious communication between his upper body and his lower body. The 2 meridians, governor and conception, are very important in this communication. These two meridians do not start in the upper body, but in the area of the perineum.
Inside, on the bottom. Governor runs from here. It runs in the perineum, comes all the way behind your back, runs over your head and here. The conception comes from the perineum and comes all the way up and runs to here.
These 2 meridians show that there is a fundamental link between the upper body and lower body, between the cerebral function and the sexual function. The voice's expression is governed by sexuality. This sexual function is located in the lower part of the body and is a starting point for the construction and existence of the body.
Cephalic pose, what he's talking about is sexuality, polarity, and it's directly related to your voice.
You cannot dissociate your voice in the upper body from the expression of the lower body. It is not possible. But it is not only the sexual function that is able to influence the voice. The body is built up with the help of 5 senses. Taste, hearing, smell, sight and touch enable the body to interact with the outside world. All these external factors, these external stimuli, can in some cases alter the voice.
Here you have the 5 senses, and each sense is related to an organ meridian. These 5 elements are in your body. You have taste, smell, hearing, sight, and touch in your voice.
If you want to access a human voice, it is necessary to express it through the 5 senses in your voice.
5 elements in your voice.
So what do? We simply give these 5 senses back their energy, regaining the senses of taste, hearing, smell, sight and touch, so that the voice can express itself to its full potential.
We're going to do some demonstrations with...
Cheryl invites all the attendees to experience in practice the link between the voice, the sexual function and the 5 senses so they can truly feel the effect of nutripuncture in their bodies. Present starts. The method used is a simple one. It consists of making an initial recording of the person singing. Then he or she is given the sequence which represents allowing the voice to find its true home in the body, followed by a second sequence which represents energizing the vital currents with reference to the sexual function, and then making a second recording. Let us listen to Presence before she took the nutriments.
Okay.
We give her the first sequence, which will enable the voice to find its proper place in the body. Then we give her the second sequence, which corresponds to sexuality.
The first one I was kind of out a little bit, and then the second one was I was in, but I was like, what's going on? And then the last one I felt like I was inside of it.
I felt like more part of who I am, more expressive in who I am, more in my energy.
A new voice.
Happy birthday,
We use exactly
dear
the same method.
Patrick. Happy birthday to you.
We give her the two sequences and she sings again.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patrick. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
The workshop continues. All those taking part are experiencing this for themselves.
And your mama's good looking.
Wir betreten Feuer trunken.
I'll know that moment.
That heaven is sent down to me. This land is your land, this land is my land.
The workshop comes to an end. All those taking part, buoyed up by what they have just experienced, spontaneously sing when the sand goes marching in.
This workshop has been phenomenal, and it's a fun workshop. So it's fun to interact and sing and play a little bit. Even someone who's not familiar with Nutripuncture can see it immediately. They can feel it in their body immediately.
So the singing workshop comes to an end. Following the success of the workshop, Dr. Verret wishes now to carry out the experiment from one singer to a professional singing group. Dr. Verret then went to East Los Angeles, accompanied by Cheryl and Wendy, who have been able to contact the gospel choir. This is a new challenge. It is very difficult to deal with a choir because it involves treating each person individually so that each one can find their own mode of expression, finding a true place for each person's voice in their body, and so that one person's voice does not interfere with another. A choir is a sum of different voices expressing themselves in song. Normally, this choir is made up of 150 to 200 singers. Today, to simplify things, we have taken a group of 10 of its members. They have agreed to participate in the experiment but have no knowledge of Nutripuncture.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
Dr. Verret begins working with Ricky, the choir's director.
Filled with the power of a greater destiny, a greater destiny.
The voice is in relationship with the body. The ear with the ovary, the mouth with the uterus, the nose with the vagina, the eyes, and so on. When you insert your voice in your body, you feel the presence of it in your body. To begin with, the idea is to let Ricky experience this for herself. So Cheryl gives her the two sequences used for this method. Ricky sings again.
God, for letting me see I'm free, filled with the power of a greater destiny, greater destiny. So I know that I feel the song in my body already. But what I felt was a greater ease in singing. It just flowed out. The second time I sang it, after taking all of this, my voice was much more relaxed. I felt much easier in my throat. And more whole. Okay, so it's good. So you guys want to try?
Now it is Tony's turn to try this new approach. He's one of the choir soloists.
Where is my peace of mind? And the Spirit says, I am more than this. I am more more than this. I am more than this. Come to me, yeah. Spirit says, I am more than
After taking the two sequences, he sings again.
this. I am more than this. Come to me. Yeah. It felt good. It felt solid. Felt like whatever I wanted to do, I could do.
Which is really good, Tony.
Effortless. Beautiful. You could feel the vibration of how solid he was and what he was singing, and it just kind of amplified out this way.
We're a joyful, energetic group, and usually we're loud, but we're floored by this, It's beautiful.
With the nutriments, he realigns your voice. For the first stage was to place the voice, and then to deal with the sexual pole, because the voice is in relation to the sexual pole. There's a top and a bottom, and you need both of them to encase like the reference of life in your body. So what he was doing here with Ricky and Tony is that he placed the voice in their body, because they were singing out here. They were not singing in their body.
After tuning Ricky's voice at that of the soloist, Tony, they are asked to sing together for the first time. This is the intermediary stage that needs to be carried out before having the whole chorus sing. But something unexpected happens.
People when they're happy. People when they're sad.
When Tony was approached by Ricky to touch him, I stopped her in order to prevent any interference from touch in the expression of their voices. The importance of touch is colossal, because this is what makes it possible to respect the other person's limits. The voice too has a limit. If you touch him with your female polarity, and if he touches you with his male polarity, you will feel a difference in your voices. Your voice is here, and his is there, and there is a limit for each voice.
And he has a limit of each voice. The life is the...
Life resides in the freedom that exists between the two, and not in a merging of one with the other. It is something different.
That's because it's my brother.
Between mother and child, between brother and sister, between man and woman, we go like this, wrapped in. It's called codependent. It's called fused. It's not healthy. Two trees that can't grow well unless each of them are rooted in their own identity. First as an individual, as Tony, as Ricky, and secondly as I am a woman, and I recognize you as an individual. He is free. He is not yours, and you recognize his masculinity. And the same, you're a man. You're free. You recognize she is Ricky. She is a woman.
So now he's saying, don't get close like this,
no,
right?
You can now.
Doesn't matter. Oh.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
No, it just says just honor who we are.
Okay.
Okay.
And you can be like this and honor each other.
Okay.
Now when you guys sing, you'll be recognizing each other. But what the next step we're going to do is that you're going to sing as a man, and Ricky's going to sing as a woman, and you'll hear the difference.
After this few adjustments, Ricky and Tony sing together again.
The birds in flight. I am more than the lost of a loved one. I am more than a heart so broken. I am more than a newborn baby. I am more than the pain of a body. I am more than people when they're happy. People when
free, playful.
I could see Ricky. I could feel my own energy. At the same time, I could feel the the love and the friendship of the song. About, I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I did.
That's a different energy.
But you also planted it, so you gave an idea of what to go for.
Some days we have good days, some days we have bad days. And based on those stressors, your cells are reproducing that information. And they're dying off and they're reproducing. It's kind of like walking like this for a long time. And then somebody helps you stand up, but it doesn't feel comfortable, so you go back to this. What Nutripuncture does is simply give the reference of this.
Now it is the choir's turn to sing.
Oh, thank you, Lord, thank you, God, for letting me see I'm free. Filled with the power of a greater destiny, greater destiny.
The same method is used for them all. Each person is given the sequence for accommodating the voice and then the sequence corresponding to the sexual function.
Now I'm doing number 9, right?
Unfortunately, as far as our experiment goes, the choir didn't sing the same song after taking the nutriments. But let us listen to the result.
It just came right out. It's almost like your spirit singing.
Like this part of my body was just solid.
I feel it in my body. It was like it was a note that they were singing, but it was like a whole vibration that you respond to, and I found myself like hitting notes and just holding them that I wouldn't have done before.
It's just like I was singing with the choir all the time. It feels like, it feels that, it feels like if as if everybody else was there, like we normally do on stage.
Grounded in a different kind of way. I can't explain it. And the pitch was so good.
Like the whole choir was singing with us.
Yeah, it's very easy to get in tune.
Pitch was.
Yeah.
It's a lot of power.
This was a small group, and and we have a tenor. Our tenor is not here, and we used to sing with 160 people, but when they came together, the first time it sounded like we had different people coming. Now it sounds like a real ensemble. It sounded more cohesive.
Yeah, right.
It sounded more cohesive. The pitch was good. And, it felt like everybody was having an even better time than usual.
Pleased with what they have just experienced, the experiment comes to an end with them still singing.
The experience with the Agape Choir was interesting because first of all, they already feel that they're good singers. They were cautious as to why they need something in addition to help them. But little by little, as they did the stages of placing the voice and inserting it into the sexual pole, they were amazed at how different. In fact, they're usually a very rowdy bunch. So to see them quiet and just reflective of what they are experiencing and how amazing an experience it was for them was pretty profound for me to witness, because I already know them as a choir.
This experiment with nutripuncture and singing is really unbelievable, because I didn't realize that nutripuncture could give such power to singing. In other words, nutripuncture really makes it possible for men and women to find the right place for the vocal apparatus when expressing themselves. And freedom to exist means existing with one's body, the whole of one's body, and the voice is truly one characteristic of human beings, which enables them to recognize themselves and to recognize each other. And I believe that singing, though I do not know a great deal about it, truly gives people a dimension which enables them to gain an awareness of themselves within their own bodies, in that they are then able to find that true place within their bodies.